Hello, Queen Kelly here. Is that paint on my face? Yeah, I think I'd rather be a lady than a queen. You know, like the ladies on Downton Abbey. And my friend and I just went to see the movie, which was really good. We're big fans of Downton Abbey. And for a long time, I have marveled at how often those women trot out their tiaras. And it kind of made me wonder if life might just not be a little bit better while you're wearing a tiara. So I went shopping on Amazon, as you would if you were going to shop for tiaras. And you know what? They have all kinds of tiaras. They looked so similar that I wondered if they were the same ones. So I did a little research. No, they're not. They're reproductions of some historical tiaras that some famous people wore, royalty or noble people. I don't know. But anyway, they're so similar. And I ended up buying one. I just couldn't resist. And I wore it while I was painting with real gold paint. Not really. I didn't have the tiara yet, but I made this paint. It's pure gold paint. Well, it's like 23.75 carat, and you make it out of gold leaf. And I'll put some resources so you can learn how to make it yourself if you want to. Mine is not stellar quality. You have to work really hard. Basically, you make it out of real gold foil, and you have to basically pounce it with your fingers in Arabic gum or gum Arabic and water. And it's quite an extensive, tedious process. It takes hours. And the finer you break up that gold leaf into particles, and the finer the particles are, the finer the paint is, and the finer and the more you can make it shine. So yeah, mine, I'm real pleased with my first try at it, but I'm going to keep after it, and I think I need more practice. This is a new sketchbook that I made out of materials that were left over from another sketchbook project. And I always save my leftovers because I like to make sketchbooks. And I really like this end paper. And for the first page of this sketchbook, I decided to try and match the colors and use my new gold paint. Try it out. This is the first time I've used very much of it. And I will say that a little bit does not go a long way. It goes fast. So I'm going to make some more. And if you guys are interested, I'll film it. But I'm really going to put the resources for how to learn how to do it in the description, because I think there are a lot of different tricks to it to make it really good. And you can learn how to do it yourself from people who know far better than I do how to do it. But as you can see here, I'm burnishing it. One of the differences between using real gold paint as opposed to like the mica paints is that you take an agate burnisher and you rub the paint down after it dries, and it makes it shiny. And this is where you can really tell how good a quality, how well you've made it, because the finer those particles are, the shinier it is when you burnish it. This obviously isn't as shiny as what you find in the illuminated manuscripts, but it's the same kind of paint. And it was fun to make it. It was really an experience. I really liked these colors, and I think I did a pretty good job matching the colors to the end papers. And I really like those end papers. I like the colors because that hot pink and that bright orange have such an energy, and they lend themselves so well to a graphic motif like this. I think the gold is especially striking with this motif on these colors. Here I'm just doing some stippling. The main thing I wanted to do with this first page was do kind of a graphic motif with these colors matching the end papers, which I did. And the other thing that I really want to do in this sketchbook is just be free and not be afraid to experiment. I covered this sketchbook with Cricut vinyl instead of using leather, because I didn't have any pink leather, and I've already got 2 other orange sketchbooks. So I will tell you, I'm not too thrilled with the Cricut vinyl. It's kind of transparent. It's not as opaque as it looks when it's on the roll. But anyway, now it's time for me to talk to you a little bit about science and my latest forays into science documentaries. And YouTube has been serving me up a lot of videos on whether or not we're living in a simulation. And there are some big names weighing in on this, or at least discussing it. I mean, Neil deGrasse Tyson, my favorite, Brian Greene, and Richard Dawkins. And I mean, they're all really giving it a certain amount of respect as a possibility. Of course, they also say it can't really be a theory because you can't, there's no way to test it, because as soon as a computer control your memories and your thought processes, there's no way to test it. I kind of think that we are living in a simulation just based on some of the arguments, but I don't know. I've always kind of thought that we are in a classroom, like this is a big test, or it's a science experiment or a social experiment, and we're checking to see, how, what would happen if we reacted in this way or that way. But I also have considered that maybe we're just entertainment. Maybe they're taking bets on. Could you imagine we're like a giant dog fight and they're taking bets on us? I don't know. I still think that I prefer to think of us living in a classroom where we're going to better ourselves, and at some point when we're done with it, we will somehow have bettered ourselves. And I really kind of don't think it's the dogfight scenario, because I don't think that a civilization that can last long enough to build a universe like this probably can be that self-destructive. And I think things like betting on dogfights, and to me, that's the mark of a civilization that is dying, kind of like Rome. Anyway, that's just my philosophy. What do I know? I just make art, and I prefer it that way. And now it looks like I'm just about to finish this page up. The first page in this sketchbook, I would call it a success. I am super happy with the way the colors turned out and everything. But mostly, really mostly, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, the ones who've recently subscribed and the ones who've stuck with me. It means everything to me. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already done it and you'd like to, go ahead and like and subscribe. And guess what, you guys? I will see you in the next video. Take care. Be well. Bye. Hey. Have you noticed that if you say granny like this, granny, or if you say granny like this, granny, you picture a completely different grandmother?